average blows, competitive spirits. Yeah, 13.
Happy day, and what it do?
Yes, sir.
It's your boy K. Listen, being average at anything is never great. Being above average at everything kind of makes you awesome.
Yes, sir. And I go by 3% Chi, and the 3 represents the percentage of the world that's identical twins. And of course, I'm smelling, seeing, tasting, hearing, and touching the backboard every time I step on the court.
Liars.
So what I gotta complain about? Okay, he's a hater early.
No, sir. I have one for you.
If it's your first time listening to the show, Kay and I, we are identical twins. Some people, we like to think we got fraternal thoughts, but when people think of identical twins, I'm sorry, I'm having K speech-like impediments.
Cut it out.
But when people think of identical twins, sometimes they think, we can think the same thing,
Yes.
we can feel the same pain.
Yes.
We cannot feel the same pain.
Not at all.
But on occasion, we might have similar thoughts. So how we like to start the show out is I'm going to count to 3, I'm going to say what's on my mind,
I'm going to say what's on my mind.
and then maybe we might be thinking the same thing. You ready?
I'm ready.
1, 2, 3.
Russell
Green eggs and
Westbrook.
ham. Okay.
Yeah.
So we do not have identical thoughts, but I assure you we are identical twins, just not between the big toe and the pinky toe. You heard? And it just it just happens like that. I don't know why. So today we are actually going to be talking about communication.
Big one.
Do you have the definition for communication?
I have the definition of communicate. It is to share or exchange info, news, or ideas.
All right. And I have the definition for communication, the imparting or exchanging of information or news. Similar.
Yes.
Right? So how we're going to start is like this. Sending and receiving text messages is the most prevalent form of communication. In fact, 65% of the world participates in that form of communication.
Right.
Now, let me ask you, how and what form do you communicate the best in, you think? Whether on the telephone, in person, text message?
I think it would have to be a tie between never mind. I'll say probably text message because you get to think out your thoughts
Okay.
a little bit before you hit send. So yeah, probably text message for sure.
Okay.
Email, stuff like that.
I am not sending nobody, I'm not gonna send Kay an email, but I get what he's saying,
right.
writing it out. I used to think that I was in-person person.
Yeah.
So if we gotta talk about something,
person.
yeah, if we had to talk about something, let's talk about it in person. But for the reason that you just stated, you can kind of think it out.
Right.
You can just relax a little bit.
Yes, sir.
And then you can draft it, read it back before you send it. You know what I'm saying?
So real quick,
Yep.
early just because you got on text messages,
Mm-hmm.
misconception alert.
Let's get it.
That some people may think that communication happens when a text message is sent, but communication takes 2, right?
Okay.
So just because you sent it doesn't mean I received it at all, or have an understanding of what the heck you just stated. So.
And I was for some reason I was gonna immediately give pushback, but then I gotta resort back to the definition is like the exchange.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I'm saying, just giving someone something is
It takes 2 to make the game go right.
So I saw something that it said 70 to 93% of communication is nonverbal. I'm not sure how true that is or not, but when you hear that, how does that make you feel? How do you
Instantly I kind of thought of sports when we played basketball. I remember sometimes we knew what was going on just by certain eye contact,
right,
head movements,
okay,
and things of that nature.
so right, definitely the tone of our coach's voice,
oh yeah, well no, it's a nonverbal.
I said tone. Oh, my bad. My bad. Facial expressions, body language.
Yeah, there you go. See, I got you. Look, he
gestures.
kind of bulked up there. So, yeah, I said tone. Yeah, you're wrong, bro.
I went like this. I mean, whatever. Yeah, but that definitely wasn't going. So real quick though, quick story time.
Okay.
We elementary school went to Roxbury.
Yes.
We was bad kids. We said that last episode, right?
Yes, sir.
I used to, I won't say steal, but I used to collect pencils. So on everybody's desk when they used to go to when they share stories, I forgot what that's called again.
Story time.
It's not story time. Show and tell. When it's show and tell,
show and
everybody
tell.
get into circles and they sit Indian style. I'm not gonna participate in that. So I would go to everybody's desk and take a pencil and put it in my box. I had a little box, right?
Okay.
So one day I go to the bathroom. I come back to the class. I see everyone in my box taking their pencils back. In that moment, I gotta think about this some more. I'm not sure why I didn't go in the classroom, but I there's nothing I could say. I couldn't.
Busted. You busted.
Well, no, I don't care that I was that they found it, but I looked at the window and I said, they taking my stuff? All right, I just left. I went to the principal's office.
Oh, okay, I know I'm in trouble. I took everybody's pencil. Let me
Well, I don't think I didn't know what to communicate at that time. Like,
Ooh, okay.
hey, what y'all doing? Stop, or like, let me explain. Like, you know what I mean?
I ain't know what I want to say. Stop taking your pencils back from me that I took from you. That's what,
It is mine now. Finders keepers, or I took it, but damn.
the Steelers dillers. So I seen a stat. Yeah, like an interesting stat. The first written communication was in form of marks, drawings, and symbols about 9,000 years ago. That's, I mean, self-explanatory, right? They drawing pictures on I think it was like cavemen.
Yeah.
On walls and stuff like that. What happened?
I would like to hear what that sounded like. I mean, obviously you can't hear a drawing or a sketch or a mark, but I'm saying like, because obviously they wasn't speaking like perfect English like this, right? Who knows what they're speaking?
I don't know what they were speaking.
If you could imitate, like just guess how they were speaking.
Not even gonna do it, bro.
Why, bro?
Go ahead, you go. Give it a shot.
The first thing I thought was ooh ah ah for whatever reason.
Wow.
Hey, man. But here's what I think I got in mind. It sounds like a person that can't talk and they just hear that is my interpretation of what the caveman sounded like.
Were you trying to imitate I think it's like one of the boy kid on it's like Wild Thornberry, something like that.
I didn't even think about that. Right. Right. I was not trying to imitate him, but yeah, that probably was what they sounded like.
Right.
So okay. So we know that most people partake in sending text messages, right?
Right.
So what about the understanding text messages and what someone is communicating, even though the word doesn't say what you know that they're communicating? Does that make sense?
Nah, you gotta run that back.
So when someone sends you a text, like the punctuation and stuff, when someone sends you a text message,
like grammar,
yeah. But like, so how well do you understand? Let's say your wife.
yeah.
Do you understand what all of her text messages like? Okay, this means she's mad. This means she's happy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, so I wouldn't say with my wife because there's not like telltale signs. Like, so my wife, I know you asked me directly, but my wife with her sister, I remember she was like, my sister's mad. I'm like, wait, how would you know that? She's like, she put a period at the end of her sentence. She only does that when she's mad.
Right.
And I was like, what?
So you haven't figured out yet like your wife's text language.
Nah, because I mean we text so often and we joke so much. Like I can't, and there's so much room for your own interpretation of somebody's text, right?
Right.
So yeah, nah. I mean,
but like you never left the house not on the best terms or something, and then like you got a text message and you.
Oh yeah, like all right. So obvious one. And I think a lot of people can relate. It's like a one-worder response.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You just put down a whole college SAT essay, and she says okay.
The one worders it killed me, especially my wife. Yes, the one worders. Are you good? Yep. She'll say yep instead of like yes or something. Or if I say like, what do you want to eat? Food.
Oh man.
I guess, and that's when I'm petty, but I don't do this. But what I be wanting to do is just come back with something edible. You said food, so I'm just come back with something edible. You heard?
So you said food. I brought bread.
Bread is good.
Just bread by itself?
Yeah, it depends what kind of bread. Like the pumpernickel bread at the Cheesecake Factory, that's my jam right there, bro. That is my Jamie jam right there. So, okay, I want to address this with you, by the way.
Okay.
When me and Kay, we have been communicating a lot. Obviously, we have this podcast, so we communicate a lot off air, right? Mm-hmm. Recently, Kay has been telling me a lot to stay out my feelings.
Get out your feelings.
Right.
It's a dangerous place.
That's what he says to me a lot, and I don't. So I want to talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
I don't understand. Like, why do you say that? First off,
I say that because obviously, as a human being, it's natural to go into a place of feelings when you receive information or just anything in conversation, right? Especially if it's something that you don't necessarily agree with, or if it's going against kind of what like your idea or something, right? You see that as pushback. So I say get out your feelings because I know there's a more reasonable way to respond that has nothing to do with your feelings. Like there's to me there's a way in which, because like when you respond and you do a good job at saying like I might be in my feelings right now, and then you go, whereas and sometimes you don't, like sometimes but more times than not you will tell me that like I might be in my feelings, so let me know. But the times when you don't, it's just like, yo, like we kind of wasting time because I'm competitive. I'm hella competitive.
Right.
So if I feel like there's a jab, naturally I kind of want to throw a jab back, but I'm like, yo, what am I doing here? Let me just get out your feelings so we can get this. You know what I'm saying?
So when you say that, it's more of just a jab back.
Wait, get out your feelings?
Yeah, because like how I take it is you're dismissing the information that I'm trying to exchange.
No. So I get that information, but I want you to know. Well, I guess you can say a jab back because I want you to know when I reply, I don't want to like address the feelings part. I just want to get into like what we need to address.
So moving, because I told Kay like I don't like when you say that because it's kind of like you invalidating what I'm saying. I'm still giving valid information, but I'm letting you know that I'm bringing up the feelings because my tone might be a little different or off.
Right.
So apologize.
Apology accepted.
No, you apologize.
Boy, you trying to punk me.
Say, I want my apology and I want it now, or as soon as possible. As soon as you can give it to me, please give me.
You said it right. We can have a conflab off air.
All right. What is a conflab about? You said that before. I know what it is, but explain to the people what conflab is.
Conflab is another way. I think it's how you shout out to again my sister-in-law, Kels.
Yep, Kels, my wife. Yep.
Just converse.
Yeah. I think it's a British term.
Yeah,
and
British term for converse.
Let's talk. Let's have a conflab.
Let's have a conflab.
Did you want to get into a misconception?
Another misconception. No, I just wanted to get shout out to courses.lumenlearning.com. And we kind of touched it a little bit in the definition itself of communication.
Yep.
But this is three main purposes of communication is to inform, persuade, or entertain. Now, with those three.
Yep.
Wait, you know what I'm about to ask?
No, I don't.
Say, what do you feel you do the most? Or how do you communicate the most?
Can you read them again one more time? Sorry.
Inform, persuade, or entertain.
I think it's a tie between inform and entertain. And then yeah.
You about to say, and then a little bit of persuade in there.
I was going to say, a little seasoned salt.
Okay, no, yeah, same,
for you?
yeah.
Which one do you feel like you need to get the better at? Yeah.
I want to. Nah, man, I think I do all three well, man. I ain't gonna lie. Obviously, we can all get better at something, so I will say inform.
Yeah,
inform people.
I was gonna say the same thing. It's just like of how I feel. We talking about feelings,
right?
How I feel, or just having better facts or something like being more informative,
right?
In general.
No, so let me get into something else real quick. According to teamstage.io, says 69% of employees would work harder if they felt appreciated.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Absolutely. Like, I want to be recognized for the work that I'm doing. So communicate that to me. Okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I speaking about like work communication, like a lot of people I was like this, go into like work thinking go into work thinking my work is going to speak for itself. So I don't need to communicate. You need to advocate for yourself. So if you did something, keep track of what you're doing, and then let your boss know or whatever in a meeting one-on-one. Look, I've been doing this, and that. Like, don't just sit back and think that your work is going to talk. Work don't talk. So,
Not at all.
You know what I'm saying?
Not
Please communicate that effectively.
Unless you work as some type of translator or something.
Right.
Then your work talks.
Is there something that you wanted to get into with that? Like, you brought that up?
No, I just wanted to know your perspective on that.
Okay. Kind of not off topic, but we talking about communication. So cars, right? The cars, I don't know what make and model that the police cars are, but I cannot stand people who have cars that look very similar to the police car that they have something on top, right? So I want to say what you guys are communicating to me when I see that is you are all right, whatever. I'm just leaving it at that. I didn't try to be mean, but yo, I do not appreciate that, bruh.
Right.
Like,
cut it out. Knock it off.
And especially the dudes who got like the legit old cop cars and it looks like they have the flashlight on the side.
Yeah, well, they do be having that.
Yeah. Can you buy that on Amazon?
Look it up after the show.
Why do people have that, bro?
Yeah, it's kind of annoying.
Okay, so in communication, right? I see that people tend. I think it's called confirmation bias, right? Like, and what that is when you seek, interpret, and remember information that you already believe and you agree with, right? So I feel like a lot of people stay within like their protected bubbles, and they don't expand outside of that. And like they reject opposing views, beliefs.
All right, so I am glad that you got into. Is there more that you
go ahead?
So to expound on that, it was a very interesting read on embracepossibility.com. Yep. And according to embracepossibility.com, and this goes again to when we were speaking last episode on like help and assistance and how some people said if you don't got that experience, then you can't if you can't relate, then no, you can't help me type. All right, so. According to embracepossibility.com, one of the main reasons people have bad communication is because they have this seeing is believing mentality. Or our realities are based on our perception, and our perceptions are based on what we focus on, right?
Right.
So depending on our experience, our mood, thoughts, etc., we focus on different things at the same event or of the same event, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And well, you kind of sound like is it Timon and Pumbaa from Lion King?
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're aching. Yep. But yeah. So we focus on different things of the same event, meaning we only see part of reality. More specifically, our part of reality.
Right.
So most people don't realize that, and they don't know what they didn't see, and they generalize the portion of their reality as full reality.
Right.
And they stubbornly hold on to their truths and discount everyone else's truth.
Right.
And that, I think, aligns perfectly with
the
what you're trying to
confirmation.
say.
Yeah, with the confirmation bias.
Yeah.
Like, just
So it's
you
like-
saw what you wanted to see because that's what
Exactly.
you already believe in.
Yeah. So to just because they did an experiment
Let's get it.
on this, there's a video. It's a video. You go on YouTube, you can look it up. It's called The Monkey Business Illusion, and it kind of you seen this?
Maybe.
All right. So what it is? So before the video starts, they tell you to count how many times players wearing white shirts pass the ball.
Okay.
So in the video, there's three players wearing white shirts, 3 players wearing black shirts, so 6 in total, right?
Yep.
So it starts you're seeing that. Somewhere in the video, the background is gonna change. Somewhere in the video, a gorilla's gonna come out. And somewhere in the video, somebody on the black team leaves. So after, like, they asked
All these
people-
questions.
yeah, and yeah, it's crazy how, like, a lot of people got these answers wrong because they were just focusing on one thing, and that was their reality. So that was a very interesting experiment.
It's a good experiment,
Yeah,
sure.
shout out to embracingpossibility.com.
What did you take from that experiment?
So just looking back, like when I did like self-reflect and apply that to myself, I'm like, I have to. Again, it goes back to like knowing that I don't know things, right? And it's like my view is just my view. I always have to be open to hearing someone else's because they could have seen the same thing differently, and I can't discount their thoughts and or opinions just because I'm like, nah, man, we don't do that over here, blood.
So please try to notice more black shirts, all right? That's what I was getting at, goddamn.
There was 16 passes. That's what I seen. I was correct. I counted.
I
Twice.
saw I saw a story about a woman, and I'll tie this back in, but a woman who developed an allergy to everything she's ever eaten before. Right? Yeah, she would develop an allergy to everything she's ever eaten before. So, all right, she go to her doctor. So her doctor says, all right, well, moving forward, the only thing you can do is eat things that you haven't eaten before.
Right.
And I know that sounds like weird and stuff. So, anyways, so that means like she gotta have like skunk for dinner and stuff that she hasn't, just things that she hadn't eaten before. But the great thing about that was she discovered like a whole new world that wasn't in her like predictable world.
Right.
So just going back to like the confirmation bias, focusing on what you want to focus on that's I think another example of that.
Right. Great component.
So yeah, just be open to things. Don't just go into something with like, all right, I'm going for this and this is what I'm gonna get out of it.
Right.
Be open to what you can possibly get out of it. Did you want to chime in on something?
Yeah, I want to just a interesting fun fact in my search for different ways animals communicate. So, interesting fact is white rhinos communicate through communal dung heaps, aka
They smell each other's dunk.
yeah, they communicate through poop. And I'm just like, yo, could you imagine if that's how we communicated?
No.
Like,
Is a white rhino white? That might be. I'm not sure. That's a dumb question.
Kinda.
It is.
It's
okay.
not. No, it's not. It's not like white,
like a panda, like a white panda.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like an ashier gray kind of thing going on. But not. That would be cool. If we did communicate, if we were rhinos, like talking shit is like that's regular. Like you know what I'm saying?
I wonder. I do be wondering like how their communication sounds. Like dogs, birds. Like to them, does it sound just like this?
Is that roo, roo, like yeah? What's up, my dude?
Right.
Yeah.
And I always say that with like languages too. Like Spanish people always like Spanish speaking people. I'm sorry. I always say like, yo, does that Spanish just sound like this English right here? I'm not sure that's an ignorant thing to say, but like I'll be wondering, bruh.
Damn, so you don't think that'd be interesting to speak and poop?
No, bruh.
What? Yo, would you say Maria? All right, stand back. No toilet paper this time.
But I would have to respond with the poop.
Exactly.
I mean, obviously, if we was doing it, that'd be normal. So like, but that sounds, no.
Sounds crazy. All right.
Yeah.
All right, my
But
fault.
I know what you're doing on your spare time. It's okay, my boy. He can relate to our dog in the real way.
Hey yo.
Oh, so are you able to separate a person from their beliefs? Like, can you have a conversation with someone who like has different beliefs from you? Like,
Yeah.
let's say,
Yeah.
you can,
Yeah.
and you feel like it's fairly like easy to do.
So it depends what we're talking
Like
about.
what their
So
beliefs
like
is?
if we if their belief like religion, right?
Mhm.
But if we're not talking about religion, like we're just talking about basketball,
Got you.
is that
Yeah, I mean, well, so would you be able to talk about religion with a person who has a different belief than you?
yeah, I would 100%.
You just worry about how they might.
Yeah, well, 'cause
respond.
in my experience, it's been like I'm wrong no matter what. Like you know what I'm saying? Like because I'm not a religious person, so many Jehovah Witnesses come to the door and we converse, and
Yep.
you know I enjoy conversing, and just anything that they was saying that was 100% the truth, and anything else is like nah, like you going to hell.
Right. And that used to be I can't speak for you, but that used to be me because like when we was my dad made us Mormons for somehow.
Right.
And I remember when we was talking about people about the Church of Latter-day Saints, right? Like I will always say, no, your God is fake, our God is real, like or this religion is true and stuff. I mean, I was drinking the juice, is what I'm saying. I was drinking the juice. Okay, so in the same vein of that, are you able to entertain thoughts without accepting them? Like
I think I've done that before. That's like listening to respond instead of just like listening to.
yeah, or like just your own thoughts, like something that other people may view as like that other people might view it as crazy and like try to be like devil's advocate about it, but like you entertain it, but you don't have to accept it. Like something crazy, like let's say, and this is a wild example, but like let's say a school shooter. Like, would you be able to entertain like, oh wait, he could have did this because X, Y, and Z, and not the
Yeah. Of course, I'm definitely we both are big into like crime, true crime podcasts
Right.
and stuff like that.
Right.
So I often try to get in their head a little bit, like yo, what was they thinking? Maybe it could have been because of this. Did he have Jerome beating up on him like I did? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Although it's easier for me to say now if I was actually sitting down with. So I don't know exactly how that would go.
Right. When you're having a conversation with somebody, when do you feel like you have the best conversation? Like, in what setting do you feel like you have the best conversation with someone?
Say in what setting?
Yeah, like face to face, over the phone.
And that all comes down to our relationship. I want to say.
So let's just say it's the same person in different settings.
So where exactly? And then that's gonna be broken down to like what was the day like?
Okay.
Because a lot goes into that. I think like so. What is my mood beforehand? Right? Did I just something good just happen? Do I have something great to get off my chest? I want to share. Did I win an award or something?
Okay, I can say without a doubt, yes, all those things definitely matter, right? But without a doubt, I think I have the best conversation with people when we're participating in some type of activity, like when it's not just a face to face and it's just focused heavily on what we're saying versus we're doing something together.
All right, so doing the activity, let's say it's a competitive activity, right? Like a sport.
Okay.
And you lost. Do you think is it still the same? Like you think you're gonna be able to have the best conversation as the loser?
Well, yeah, especially now as an adult. But now let's say there's like high stakes on the line, like we just bet some money. I mean, I might need 10 minutes to calm down.
Okay.
Before we get back to the
Okay.
conversation. But yeah, like, I mean, because I see something, there was a quote, it was like, good conversation is like a beach ball or like a balloon without helium. Like you want to keep it up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And so wait, why I just say that, right? So I heard that, so how do you have a good conversation, right? Like your tone while you're having a conversation.
Yes. Questions.
Right. Asking questions and being enthusiastic or genuinely curious with the questions. Like what do you do for work? You know what I'm saying? Yo,
that's crazy.
right. Like you want to change the language a little bit and be like, yo, you seem mad happy every time you come from work. Like, yo, what is it about work that you like so much? That's a better way to ask. Like, what do you do for work?
All right. So just to speak on that again, there is on a site psychcentral.com. And this is general signs of poor communication, because you kind of just like was getting into basically one of them with like your reaction to somebody. So general signs of poor communication. I'm just gonna bang them all out. Right? Passive listening instead of active listening. That's what you're talking about. Shutting down, letting things bottle up until you explode in anger or sadness, yelling or screaming. Right. Becoming verbally or physically abusive. That goes without saying. I think. And dismissing others people's point of view, not being clear about expectations, needs, or wants, and the worst, in my opinion, the silent treatment.
Right. I didn't know that would bother me. Well, it depends who gives me the silent treatment. It doesn't bother me when it's a rando or someone that I don't necessarily care about, but when it's people that I care about and they give me the silent treatment, especially my wife, I do not like it.
Damn, Maria.
Please stop it. So what I want to say about keeping the thing in the air, what I meant to say is I also saw something that said, don't stop the flow and steal the show. Like, so if a conversation is happening, don't stop the flow of the conversation to bring it back to you. Like, listen to what the person is saying. Let them finish. You don't always have to offer advice. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, if someone says, I'm about to start getting back into the gym, like, and you see they're kind of overweight, you don't think it's your place to just be like, yeah, you are out of shape. Like, no, now you just stopped it.
Or I got some workouts for you. Maybe that would be a better way of saying it. But, yeah, you don't always have to add or interject or something like that.
Right. So instead, to ask another question. Like, oh, that's interesting. You about to get back to the gym. What made you want to get back into the gym?
What gym?
Right, what gym? Yeah. Is it right? What they got at the gym? What amenities they got? They got a shower in there or what? Is they giving out bottled water? My fault. I'm staying on the gym.
No, you're good. What about somebody who's like, yeah, they provide snacks? Don't say that.
Are you familiar with I think you might have hit on one. Communication shields, like defensive shields, kind of.
Yeah. Like people shutting down or the silent treatment is a form of shutting down.
Right. So like, for instance, when someone asks me about work, like I look at work as something that I just do for money, like my job. I don't necessarily care about it. Right. So if they ask me like, yeah, what do you do for work? That's my defensive shield comes up, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to talk about work when I'm not working. I say that instantly. Are you similar in that regard?
Maybe I used to be. Now, nah.
Okay. So what I was listening to this podcast is communication guys, right? Okay. And they're all about like giving you ways to improve communication and stuff like that, right? Your communication skills. Right. And what they said was when someone's defensive shield goes up, don't think that they're like shutting down right away. One, you want to like probe it a little bit. So just ask another question. So like what I just said, like I don't want to talk about work right now.
Right. Rough day?
Right. It must have been a rough day. And then depending on what they say there, you'll know like maybe I should get off this topic or not. Because a lot of times some people, like, they're not going to bring up something because they don't feel like you honestly care. They want to find out that you care first before I go into this. Right. Like, what's the point of me going into this? I know you don't care. Yeah. It's like, because every day we say, like, how are you? When I say how are you to somebody, I'm not really asking how are you, bro. I'm saying, like, I'm acknowledging you alive, and that's it. So, like, yeah, sometimes people just want to know that you care what I'm about to tell you. So, yeah, if you do ask another question, oh, this K really does care about what I'm saying.
Yo, so, just speaking on that, have you ever been in a situation when you were saying your standard, how are you, really just like a hi, bye, right? Right. But and somebody tells you how they are or how you doing, and they say, like, terrible, bro. And have you been in that situation?
I have, but like sometimes because I'm so used to just walking past somebody when I say that I don't know that they said that, but then I look back and they still there looking. I'm like, oh, I done messed up, bro.
So I activated my auto response and
right, the auto response be kicking, bro.
Worse.
I had a great day, but did you recently just have an experience with that or?
No, I didn't. But every time like I go into that, I'm like, damn, I wonder how this would be going if they, or what would I say if they said, bad, I'm doing terrible.
Has that ever flipped it a little bit? Has that ever happened to you?
As in, I say that to somebody?
Not bad or terrible, but if someone asks you, and for whatever, maybe their tone or the facial expression, it had you believe like, oh, I'm really going to say something.
Yeah, it has. It wasn't like a hi or bye thing. Me and you talked about this off air. There was a gentleman we used to work with together when we worked together. not say his name, but like he had these built-in like 3 automatic responses.
Yep.
And don't matter what you said or what he said or how interested he might have said, even though his tone didn't change too much, but like he was gonna just hit you with an auto response. So, but before I knew that, you know, one of them, what was the question? Be like, yo, you good? You good? And and like I would say, yeah, but I was doing something to help him,
right?
So I would say it, and his like response, oh, okay.
And then, so what made you catch that? That was just the automated response.
Because one time I asked a question after, and he said, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Wait, hold on."
He forgot to turn the switch off.
Yeah, I was like, "Hey, bruh, you're not gonna answer my question? Like, it's not an okay kind of question." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's funny.
We are at our infamous 30 for 30 content. What that is?
All right, we're at the Your Honor segment. What this is this is our chance to channel our competitive spirit in a safe environment where we can do something that means something to us in a real way. It is important to note that
these are not our personal views, opinions, and or ideas. Just, again, letting off our competitive spirit in a positive manner.
Yes, sir.
So without further ado, here we go.
On today's docket, is ghosting an effective way to cut ties? I will be the prosecution. Most of the time, I'm going to be a prosecution, all right?
Right.
All right, quiet in the courtroom. Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I have a microphone in front of me. It's obvious. Not only can you physically see it if you're looking at me, but you can sonically hear my voice being projected from it. That obvious information in mind, you can easily understand that this is a microphone and its purpose. The defense being here today is an example of negligence at its finest hour. Today, the defense has been charged with failure to see and understand what's obviously crystal clear. When I'm done presenting my case, I will leave no doubts on the effectiveness of ghosting, but you will also have no choice but to come back with a guilty verdict. I turn it over to the defense.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I will not only show how ghosting is a poor way of cutting ties, but how it can actually result in the opposite way in which it was intended. Turn it over to the prosecution at this time.
I'd like to call the defense to the stand at this time.
I'm here.
I'm going to ask you a series of questions. Please be as honest as possible.
Let's do it.
All right. Do you believe addiction is a real thing?
Yes.
Okay. So let's say you have a best friend that's a bona fide crackhead. Would you supply him or her with crack?
No, sir.
Okay. Let's say you wanted him or her to quit, and you had the options to either get him or her help in the form of rehab or talking to a specialist, or supplying him or her with crack at a decreasing amount each time you supplied it to him. Which one would you pick?
I'm not a crack dealer. I don't.
Can you answer the question, please? Which one would you pick?
The second option.
So you would supply them with crack?
Well, both of them supplying them with crack.
No, the first one was getting them help and sending them to rehab.
Yes, the first option.
All right. So let me change the questions a little bit, because you obviously, that line of questioning wasn't for you. So I'm going to change the question a little bit. All right. Let's say there are 2 people with you, right? They're both are your friends.
Right.
Jimmy is a person that you've seen punch people in the face whenever he told him he was going to punch him in the face. All right. Jack, on the other hand, he has never hurt a fly after countless threats. Okay. So if Jimmy or Jack was to threaten you, which one are you more likely to believe? Jimmy is the one that you've seen punch people in the face.
Yeah, obviously the one that's been punching people in the face.
I appreciate it. You can remove yourself from the stand at this time.
Thank you.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you see, we just touched on 2 things. One, the defense said he wouldn't be the one that's supplying his crackhead friend with the crack if he was to supply them with the crack, right? Even if it was at a decreasing amount each time, he wouldn't want to do that. And I agree with that. That's what we call mixed messaging. You see, because if you were supplying him with the crack, he's going to think it's okay. My friend, my best friend, is the one that's giving me the crack. Now, 2, the defense also said that he would believe Jimmy over Jack when it comes to threats. And I agree, again, because what is that age-old saying? Actions speak louder than words. So I'm going to let that marinate, and I turn it over to the defense at this time.
Thank you. What's better than having your mind at peace? You can enjoy the day, take care of whatever needs to be done, and just relax. I can't speak for everyone, but I love when I get a little bit of time to myself. I don't want to be bothered for any reason whatsoever, unless it's my wife, of course, and she want to engage in some extracurricular activity. I'm all for that.
Object, relevance.
Overruled. Damn. I'd like to call Kai, the prosecution, to the stand.
I'm here.
I'd appreciate if you answer these questions as honestly as possible.
Will do.
Is it fair to say when we're done with an episode and I'm about to head home, you tell me to let you know when I get there, and I almost always do?
Yes.
Now, the last time I went home and forgot to text you in a reasonable amount of time, what did you do?
I called your wife.
What did you do before that?
I can't remember at the time.
Let me refresh your memory. Did you call me first?
Yes.
And then you called my wife?
Yes.
All right, so including myself, you contacted multiple people to see if I was okay, didn't you?
Correct.
Is it fair to say you were concerned in some way, form, or fashion with my well-being?
Yes.
No further questions. I'll turn it over to the prosecution at this time.
All right. I'm off to stand. All right. This is I'm getting into my closing statement. Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm going to make this short and simple. Kerry Hilson said it best. People may not always tell you how they feel about you, but they will always show you. I don't care about the defense's 2 cents on this subject. In fact, I advise everyone to take your debit card out, your credit card, cash, or any personal checks and pay attention to the actions of somebody. I'm hoping you all receive my message. It's the actions that's an effective thing, right? If I'm ghosting you, that means I am no longer willing to communicate with you. So leave me alone. I'm not sending you any missed messages, all right? So I'll know everyone received my message when y'all come back with a guilty verdict. I rest my case at this time.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Your Honor, I find it fascinating that the prosecution in its closing used the phrase, received my message. He wants you to receive a message. However, if you're being ghosted, what do you receive? Again, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you want to cut ties, just say it. Be clear. If you don't and you decide to just ghost, you're going to trigger a chain of reactions, much like the prosecution experienced when he thought I accidentally ghosted him. You're going to have to unnecessarily explain yourself to your mother, father, brother, sister, cousin, ex-girl or man, or new girl or man, because you couldn't be an adult and tell Felicia or Freddie that it was over, like the conclusion of a basketball game. Imagine the president of the United States didn't want to be the president no more. And he decided to ghost America. What do you think will happen? Chaos. Chaos. So as stated before, ghosting is never the answer and will almost always have you doing more than you intended. I rest my case.
Please meet us in the comment section
Yes,
and let
sir.
us know who you think won that case and or just give your opinion on the matter.
Yes, sir.
I do think I won, though.
You're always going to think that.
Hey, so earlier I was talking about this podcast that I listened to called Communication Guys, right?
Right.
And they now this is gonna sound a little weird. I listened to them say this and it made sense to me, right? So talking about effective communication and communication in general.
Okay.
They're talking about warmth plays a key factor in communication.
Warmth?
Warmth, right? I'm not sure if I'm hitting that right. Warm when you're warm, and then add the yeah. So and just bear with me here, right? So it says 1, we warm up to warm people, and what that means, like first impressions. You ever heard someone say she's hot, he's hot, right?
As it pertains to looks, yeah.
Okay, right? Or that person gave me the cold shoulder, or I gave him the cold shoulder.
Yeah.
Right. So for some reason we associate emotion with temperature, right?
Yep.
Second, we warm up to warm things. Okay? And So this guy named Harry Harlow, he conducted an experiment with baby monkeys.
Hell of a name.
Harry Harlow, right? So he took the baby monkeys from their actual mom,
Right.
and he placed them with two surrogates, right? Two surrogate mothers. One was a cold wire frame that had a baby bottle attached to it for feeding, and the second was a cloth, but it was being warmed up by a 100-watt light bulb.
Okay.
What was fascinating was the monkeys, most of them always choose the cloth, even at the expense of eating. So they didn't choose the baby bottle and the cold wire frame to be with. They chose the cloth to forego eating. So the conclusion was people will warm up to warm things, right?
Okay.
Warm things warm us up to people. I know that these all kind of sound similar, so stay with me. I'm sorry. But warm things warms us up to people. Another experiment here. Students volunteered for a study, and they was told that you're going to read some things and then assign characteristics to the people that you read the things about, right? So they showed up to the experiment, and a greeter met them. Now, of course, what they was told was a ruse, right? It was fake. Right. The greeter was actually conducting the real experiment, right? So when they showed up, he took them to the elevator, and the elevator's going up.
Okay.
Before the elevator went up, he had a cup of either hot coffee or ice cold coffee. He would hand them the cup, and they will hold on to that cup until they got up to the top floor, and then they'll give it back. With the experiment, the conclusion of the experiment was that people who held the hot coffee were 10 times more likely to assign positive characteristics to the people that they read the passages about than the other people with the cold. And then the last thing is we can use warm things to warm people up. And the example that they gave was if you have like a meeting or something and there's refreshments, they have fresh cookies that's hot that came out the oven.
Right.
You're more likely to be receptive to that versus shrimp and some cocktail sauce that's super cold, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it varies from person to person.
Yeah, depending on how hungry I was, man. Listen.
Touche. But what that made me think about is when we go to Dad's house, where do we usually like sit and talk?
In his like dining area that's right adjacent to the kitchen.
In the kitchen, what's his heating source?
Stove.
And it's always on. So yeah, warm things warm us up. Like, anyways, and to tie it all back to like communication, like, do you remember when I said, explaining to the sales lady that I want my cologne to smell like what?
A
warm extended hug.
Oh.
I didn't even, and that was all subconsciously. Like, I didn't know like warm had any type of effect on anything. I just like, embrace me. You're going to want to embrace me. So I'll tie that back into communication. It's like when you first meet somebody, first impressions is everything. So you want to be a warm person. What does a warm person mean? Is be inviting. Instead of giving someone the cold shoulder, you want to give them a warm welcome. Anyhow, my fault, just went on a tangent, but I thought that was really fascinating. Like,
no, yeah, I mean it is. I mean the monkey experiment, and then concluding with people are more. I just found that funny. That was funny. I get it, but he said so they did this experiment with monkeys, and they concluded that people are more receptive to warmer things. Well, what do you call a monkey?
All right.
He said, all right. All right, hold on. So, communication as it pertains to like services and or businesses.
Yep.
How do you feel about that?
It's key. It's clutch. I need crystal clear communication. Tell me what I need, what I want.
Bet. And I say that because if any of you noticed who's watching, whoever's listening, I got on 2-piece gold grills.
Uh-oh.
And I'm not gonna say the name.
Yep.
But I went to this person to get these grills, and so we did the mold and everything. She told me how long it would take. I paid the money, and boom, right? Go home. I think it was going to take 2 weeks. 2 weeks come, no grill.
She ghosted you.
Pretty much. But I reach out because I'm giving you a chance in your business, and I like to see more people succeed. Right. So I reach out and I'm like, hey, just want a quick update on the status. I don't need them anytime soon, but just like an update. Get a response saying, oh yeah, so I'm so sorry. You should have them in a couple of days.
Right.
Couple of days pass. I don't hear nothing, and I ain't got my grills.
That was her automated response. Couple days.
So then I respond like, hey, listen, receiving the grills is not that important to me because I don't need them, but I would really appreciate at least if you just communicate like whatever update with me, if you can just like keep me in the loop every 1 to 2 days, that'll be nice.
Right.
Right.
The status of my grills. What's going on?
Get the okay for that. This time maybe like 2 weeks go by, don't hear nothing, and like I'm baffled. So the grills that I got right now, these are not from her. I went out on my own and cop or purchased a different pair from somebody else.
It's funny how that experience didn't make you like stain your. I still want grills. Like you still wanted grills, and you still went to somebody else.
I don't know. Maybe I thought my thinking was, oh, I'm gonna get these done. Because I did have an understanding. Like she did communicate that it's not her the reason why it's taking so long. Like, you know, it was outsourced and that's the reason. However, again,
she getting it from her cousin, uncle, sister, her brother.
I asked you to like just keep me updated, even if every 2 days. I think I use this as an example. I'm like, even if every 2 days you say it's gonna be a bit longer, that keeps my peace at mind. I mean, my mind at peace, knowing that you care enough to like keep me in the loop. Because like now, I wouldn't, that experience alone, like with this person, like that lack of communication, I got nothing for you. Like I wouldn't, and even though I tried to, you know, big up this person's business or whatever, but I don't care to do it anymore just because you couldn't communicating. I think can be easy. I'm not gonna say it is easy, but it can be as easy as you want to make it, especially if it's your business. So that's a tangent there just to say, come on, make sure, especially if you're trying to make that.
So how will be the moral? Like, what did you get out of that, and what would you like give to people from that experience of yours?
The moral story, as like a business owner or somebody who's like offering a service, communication is, as you just stated, like it's huge. It's huge. The smallest of communication, it can change the course of somebody's day and or experience with you. Right. You know, I didn't care. It was at a point where I didn't care about the product itself. All I wanted to do was be updated every day or so. So, and as the consumer, I think, I mean, I did what I had to do, I think, right? I reached out multiple times. I didn't get angry, nothing like that. I communicated clearly what my expectations was. Mm-hmm. Didn't care about the grill.
Didn't give no bad reviews or nothing like that?
No, I didn't get no bad reviews.
Respect, bro. Respect.
You know me, man.
Just out here waiting for his grills for a year and a half. Just went and go bought a new set of grills. How do you feel about snitching?
What?
How do you feel about snitching?
Hey, man.
K is he participates in the snitch culture, but that's a story for another time. We're not gonna get into this episode. But how you feel? How you feel about snitching, bro?
Hey, yo! Listen, man. I am an adult. There's no such thing as snitching as an adult. If I see something, I'm not necessarily going to say something unless it affects me and or my circle or where I live. You know, if I was visiting someone, if I went out to Arizona real quick, something happened, I seen it, I'm leaving the next day, I'm not saying nothing. I don't care. It's not my business. But, you know, something in my neighborhood or something like that, I'm sorry, man. Yes. He had that black car, license plate 82746. A.
K said, forget snitches get stitches. He said, tattletales get rewarded well, goddamn it. He said, I'm telling.
Yeah, seriously. I'm not, it's not, would you, you read history books before?
Right.
Right?
Well, okay. Yes, right.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
We're going to pretend.
You never...
I've read a history book. I mean, yes.
You know what it is.
Yeah, I know what a history book is.
Right? And you know, that author is celebrated, right, for telling history. What is history? It's a recap of what happened. That's all I'm doing.
K is telling history. Like I said, K, he partakes in the tattletales get rewarded well, goddamn. Which, I mean, I'm not even trying to. That's me too. I'm not even going to.
Hey, yo!
That's me too. I'm not saying the tattletale, but like you just said, like something happened in my neighborhood or whatever. Like, I'm grown. I'm not partaking in anything that I feel like I'm going to get arrested for or anything like that. Right. So, yeah, you can't label me a snitch, but label me whatever you want.
Man, I communicate with my community, all right? And if something's not going how it's supposed to be going, we going to know. Right. They gonna know. They expect that from me, and they deserve it.
The last experiment that I'm gonna say is these Harvard students. They went out and they did an in-person 1-question survey, and they went up to 100 people and they asked, "Hey, where is this place?" The people they said it's right over there, right in the corner. They were short with their answers. Right over there, right over the corner. Right there, point it. Right. So then they said, "All right, we're gonna rephrase it a little bit." So they went up to people and they started to say, "Hey, I'm new here. Where's Starbucks?" And just changing that language, "I'm new here," people started saying, like, some people walk them as close as they can get, or you know what I'm saying, hey, it's right over and make a left, then at that stop sign, right? So what was concluded from that is people, the more you think you have in common with someone, the less patient you'll be with them. And that I felt that because it's like, yo, if you just come to me, ask where this is, I'm thinking, yo, we both live here, dog. Like, what's wrong with you?
Okay.
Like, why you don't know what you been doing with your free time, my boy?
What if it's somebody like, you just gonna assume that they live there, or you saying like you've seen them before? Cause like, what if it's somebody that like looks like you, right? Got dreads.
That don't mean nothing to me. It's about the communication aspect. If you are new here, communicate that. Because otherwise, bro, what are you doing? I ain't got no tolerance for that, bro. If I'm in the gym, don't ask me where the bathroom is. Just look for it.
Yo, I'm new here. Can I get $1?
Sorry,
don't work that way?
Yeah, my pockets don't work that way. That's what I'm saying.
I'm just trying to get to it.
Yes, sir. I'm not. We.
Yeah, but hold on. Before we get into that, how do you feel about slang?
Slang, like.
Yo,
yes, sir.
Yeah.
I love it. I wish I knew other cultures' slang.
Okay, yeah.
Like, you feel the same way? You like?
Yeah. There's sometimes where like slang isn't appropriate, and some people don't get that, right? Like,
can you give an example?
At the workplace.
What slang? Like, give a real life example.
Yo, my ninja. What was that? Just what was happening? Yeah, you trying to slide? You try, like, just come on, brother.
Okay, like, so your manager said something to you, like, yeah, it was good. Like, of course, my dude.
Or time. Yeah, how you communicate yourself.
Right.
But
so talking about communication, like, how do you feel people can be above average?
Yes, sir. So being above average when it comes to communication, first of all, we need to know communication is one of life's most important skills, and I think it is imperative to be able to communicate effectively. So I would say practice on your communication. Like, try to talk to, if you're shy, just continue conversations and or text messages / emails, right? Because I mean, that is the world we live in today.
Right.
With as many people and or friends as possible, because if you can't communicate for yourself, then you can't expect others to understand what you need and or what you can do for somebody. So, yeah.
Right. And before we get into the information the guru will make you pay for, I did go down the rabbit hole of the keyword tool search and like communication.
Yep.
And what came up was people, they typed in the best communication skills. And then what came up from that is, what is the number one major problem with people not being able to communicate? And I think you touched on it earlier. It was like just having the ability to just listen. Don't feel like you got to respond to nothing like that.
Right.
Anyhow, we are going to close the show out with information a guru would make you pay for. And when I say that means, right. When I say that means usually someone will get some type of influence, and then now they got cash on their mind, like he just said, nothing else. And so they start to sell courses or invite you into like groups that you got to pay for to be in the groups. And it's usually information that's basic, or it's information that doesn't work at all. So, and Kay might be actually, because this is more on his side of things, right? But we're talking about communication. The Federal Lifeline Assistance, there's a program, right? And that's a government thing. It offers free monthly data, unlimited text, unlimited talk, and in some cases, extreme cases, they'll even provide a phone if you don't have one. Now, like I said, Kay, he actually does something really similar to this, but he's giving out tablets. You want to speak on that for a little bit?
Yeah, I work with the ACP program, and we are providing tablets at a one-time fee of $10, and you get what he just said, 15 gigs of data a month, unlimited talk and text.
Right. So that if you find yourself in a bind where you can't necessarily afford a plan or a phone or whatever, hit K up. Some of you might know that already, but if you don't, that is information a guru would make you pay for.
And always remember, being competitive is a positive attribute. Being average is a choice.
Average blows.